Well, the reason why I wrote the book in the first place is so that people may like be shocked at what they read and then want to help others who have mental illness. It's the most point of it is for people not to suffer as much as I have suffered or gone through. And when people read the book, they're going to be shocked because it's so graphic and so raw that it's just, people won't be able to believe that someone went through that and actually believe delusions or anything. No, but that's what happens when you have a mental illness. It just takes over, it controls you and everything. And that's like when I wrote my first book, Mirror, because I figured out a method how to overcome the delusions by rationalizing your own thoughts and everything. And that's the reason I could have wrote these books first, but I wrote the Mirror book, the workbook first, because I wanted it out there before those so it could start to help people right from the beginning and everything, because I want people to heal the same way that I've healed, and I want people to regain the life they had before they were sick.
At what point did you know that you were sick? I mean, that it wasn't right, something was off.
Well, when I talk about coincidences in my book, and it's the coincidences that really started to make me sick. Even though I didn't know I was sick, I thought it was everybody else causing coincidences and my delusions to happen to me. But when I tried to commit suicide, and that's when I took a look at myself and I was like, I need to get all the help I can so this never happens again. And that's what I talk about in the bio and everything. And so from when I tried to commit suicide up until 2000, which happened November 2003, that happened, until January 2007, that's when I healed. It took me from November 2003 to 2007 actually be healed to a good degree. And then when I was healed in 2007, I'm like, well, I'm going to write a book about this so I can start helping others. And then from 2007 to May 5th, 2010 is when the length it took me to write the book and publish it, which was 3.5 years. But I worked on that one first because I wanted it out first, because I wanted to help people and that though.
Reaching out to a publisher, that's not easy. It's not an easy feat.
I was just looking for anybody regional, and I was lucky to find someone local, and Maggie. She lives in Callander, and she was amazing. She wanted to help right off the bat, and I needed her help and all that. She's the publisher, and I needed her support and everything. And I'm so glad she's in North Bay because it's probably going to be an ongoing process. I'll probably come out with books regularly. This won't be the last time, and I'll continually need her help and support. It helps her, it helps me, it helps each other, it helps everyone.
And at that, there is something to be said about the ability to, what you can't verbalize, you can put pen to paper and share.
Well, I verbalize things very well too, though, but putting it on pen and paper is even easier because it's there, you can't forget it. But a lot of my delusions, like a lot of people who in the community who I've sold early copies to, were shocked because I talk about, there's about 73, and there's even more delusions that I used to be, and every single day I was juggling back and forth between delusions. And when I started to learn how to rationalize thoughts, that's when the delusions started to disappear. But it took years to master that method. And even to this day, sometimes I'll catch myself thinking something a little delusional or grandiose or paranoid, and I'll stop myself and I'll be like, hey, it's not like that, and then the thought goes away and disappears and you're well. And that's what I put into the book.
What changed your life, recognizing from the day that you knew that you were ill to the day that you felt, okay, my recovery process?
I thought everybody else had the problem, not me. I thought it was everybody. I thought everybody was a god on this earth, and they could read my mind and know what I was going to say even before I say it. So they were causing coincidences to happen. So I thought everybody else had the problem, and that was my main delusion. And then when I tried to kill myself and I didn't die, I looked up at the sky and the moon was there, and I said, I guess God does exist, because I did the works, my throat, my wrists, everything. and I didn't die. And so from that point on, I looked at the sky and said, I guess God does exist. And I walked home. And as I walked through the doors, I raised my hands like that, and I said, Happy Halloween, because everybody celebrates Halloween for blood and gore. And if you saw the way I looked, you wouldn't want. And that's how come I don't like Halloween anymore. And when I didn't die, and I went through those doors, that's how come I said, from that point on, I'm getting the help I need, so my family never goes through what I've goes through this again. So I never walk through a door doing this again with my wrists and all that. And that's when I started to heal. I started going, like I was in and out of the hospital from 98 to 2003 about 12 times. And the last time was when I tried to commit suicide. And at that time, that's when I'm like, okay, I'm staying in hospital as long as I can. I'm getting all the help I need now so this never happens again. So, and every other time I was in and out about a month. But when I tried to commit suicide, I lived in the hospital for 8 months. And they wanted me to leave. And I'm like saying, no, I'm not ready. Because I knew that I wasn't ready. And yet they wanted me to and everything because I perceived so well. And that though, they didn't know that a lot of my thoughts were just racing through my head all the time. And so I started attending groups in the hospital, and I started learning for myself, picking up pieces here and there. But when I started rationalizing my own thoughts, I started telling people I'm writing a book, and it was 3 chapters called PDG, Paranoid Delusional Grandeur. And that's my whole illness is paranoia, delusions, and grandeur. And I started telling people I'm writing a book, And I'd never written a book before, and I was so naive. I was like, okay, I'll write this three little chapters. I'll get it out there in no time. But the process took me 3.5 years to write the book because I made it into what it is now, and it was just a long journey. And that though.
Has that journey helped you? Is writing somewhat of, I don't want to say a comfort, but a tool, a learning tool, or something that gets you through that?
For me, my illness, because when I'm well, like when I'm sick, that isn't really me. I am who I am when I'm well. But when I'm sick, that's not who I am. So I can easily set that aside, and it doesn't bother me. But to see other people sick, and that's what really hurts me, because I know where they are, and I know where I've been, and I know what they're going through. And that's what really hurts me. And that's when I broke down and cried, because my brother and all that, though, like, he's sick too and everything. And, like, to know what we've gone through, like, what each other has gone through, you know what I mean? It's like we have this special bond and everything, though. And, like, I know what he went through, he knows what I've gone through. And nobody else who's really well really knows what we've gone through and everything, though. And that's when I broke down and started crying today, because we're both well today, and I know how much that really means. And that,
What's you did say to the crowd, which was a very, very strong message, you don't hide in your house when you're well, and nobody that is sick should hide in their house either.
Yeah, like, I said that because I think we should be mingled, you know what I mean? Like, even people who, it's like cliques, high school and all that, you know what I mean? Like, that's how we're growing up. Even in college, everybody's all cliquey and everything, though. And it's like that with society and mental illness, too. Like, there's no difference and everything. And I think the more people who know about mental illness and understand it will know there's nothing to be afraid of. We're all human. We all, you know what I mean? Like, we're all equal.